I'm Sergeant Harrel Clark. I work for Fort Bend County Constable's Office in Precinct 4. I patrol New Territory, and New Territory is a very, very nice community. I enjoy working here. Before I came to Texas, I used to be a policeman in New Orleans. Well, it's a little town called St. Bernard Parish, and over there I used to work in street crimes and a tactical unit as a canine handler in narcotics. And a lot of our work was drug interdiction and working in the lower income housing areas, and there was a lot of drug activity we dealt with, and we dealt with a lot of stolen cars and felony traffic stops and things like that. Since I came here after Hurricane Katrina, threw out some applications and resumes, and Constable was able to pick me up. Once he saw my resume and went through it, he decided he was going to hire me, and he felt like my qualifications were a little bit more than what I would be needed for in New Territory as far as contract work. But so I assured him that if he was to give me an opportunity to come and work here, I would do my best to try to keep that element out of New Territory. And he gave me an opportunity, and I jumped on it, and I've been working here ever since. Back home, you dealt with kids that were, a lot of them were, born and raised in troubled homes, and narcotics and criminal activity was all around them. It was a daily occurrence. That's what they saw, and that was normal to them. So when I came over here, there wasn't the criminal activity that I was used to dealing with back home. The criminal activity over here would consist of, graffiti on the walls, or egging houses, and car burglaries. And car burglaries became one of my biggest goals to eliminate in New Territory, and we've done that in several different ways. One of which was by creating vehicle burglary prevention report cards was one. Well, that's what they needed. I figured if you would eliminate giving a criminal the opportunity to steal your stuff, then you wouldn't have the crime of your car getting broken into. So it was more or less educating the community on what not to do. If they want to get in there, they'll get in there. But as far as locking your car doors, if they really want to break into that car, they'll do it. The goal was to get them to take out their GPS devices, their cell phones from the console, remove your purse from the back seat, because it was so simple to see. As a criminal sitting in a parking lot, I sat in a parking lot in my patrol unit, and I would see, mom with the kids, and she would grab money she needed out of her purse and reach back and put the purse behind the seat. Well, if it's that easy for me to see, no doubt it's easy for someone that wants to break into that car. The window's not going to stop them from breaking into that car. And a lot of it had to do with getting the community involved. And then I was assigned to the New Territory's Public Safety Committee. When I got involved in that, of course, I'm only one guy. I decided to go ahead and pull in citizens of the community, and we'll put on some reflective vests and teach them, and we go out and start doing little patrols in certain sections in New Territory to try to.
They were called security sweeps.
It was a security sweep. That's what we did. We conquered that. Then we moved on to back to the criminal mischief with the spray paint, and of course that was all juvenile crime. So I figured if we would start getting the kids in the community closer together, introduce them to other law enforcement agencies like the Texas Department of Public Safety, the troopers as we all know it, Sugar Land Police Department, Fire Department, several agencies I brought together and we created a kid fishing rodeo in New Territory and introduced them to the kids. And Wildlife and Fisheries, they were another agency that was there to assist us in that. Solicited sponsors to be able to give away. It's a free event. We do it every year in April. Yeah, it's a good time. Every kid gets a door prize. Every kid gets a gift after that. You know, it's a lot of fun. Free food. This will be the 3rd year we did it. We went from 150 to 180, and there's no telling how many kids we'll get for the next one. But it's a lot of fun. It's really
I heard that you did the rape aggression defense system and brought that to New Territory.
And what had sparked that was a lady that came home and she was victimized in her driveway. And I figured right there, all we got to do is just educate the community once again. And I knew Jim and Sandra from attending a class at Rice that Jim was instructing. And I asked him, I said, hey, would you be interested in teaching some women in New Territory, you know, about your RAD class? And then we started that. That's another thing we did annually.
So there have been quite a few things, but also I hear that you connect with the children. You often will buy a pizza and sit around, was it pepperonis, and sit and talk about what's going on in New Territory.
That's right.
They're doing all right. And
if you can get the kids, in the community together and get you to build a relationship with law enforcement in that community, the kids will be the ones to go ahead and prevent criminal activity. They'll be the ones to tell that kid with the spray paint can, you know, that's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. And so those kind of things, you know, it's all about the kids.
So that means the children in New Territory have a lot of power to decide how the community...
They have a lot of influence, that's right.
Basically, it all comes down to that you were recommended by your boss, the constable, Troy Nels, to receive an Operation American Heroes Foundation Award.
That's right.
And I believe that is called Service Over Self.
Service Over Self Award.
Service Over Self.
Yeah. That was awful nice of them to do that.
That was presented November 11th.
That's correct.
2011.
You couldn't raise my 3-year-old over there and that. I couldn't be able to focus on work and take care of my 83-year-old grandmother that was living with us at the time. And this was just the perfect fit. You know, my wife's work transferred over to Houston, to Sugar Land. I was able to challenge the T-close test in Texas, and you know, start my law enforcement career over again. So
you feel it's been a good move?
It's a very good move. You know, over there I was reacting to crime, and it was difficult. It was very fun, a lot of fun. You know, it was always a challenge. Over here, it's more about crime prevention and community policing. And, you know, New Territory is very, very nice community. You know, we're lucky to be able to live here, and I'm lucky to be able to work in this area.
Well,
I enjoy it.
On behalf of many of the residents of New Territory, thank you so much for what you and your patrol team have done to keep us safe.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the credit for that. I really do. But, you know, if Constable Nels wouldn't have gave me that opportunity to go to work for him, this wouldn't have all happened. And I don't know how, I can't say how things would have turned out or what would have happened. But, you know, I enjoy being here. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay here, you know, as long as they'll have me.
Well, thank you again for our community. Thanks you for all you've done and your team. I know it's just not you, it's
No,
your
it's
whole
not.
team.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's Lieutenant Frazier and Officer
Coleman, Chad Norvell, David Dunn, John McCoy works with us now. He's doing a great job out here. He has the evening shift. David Dunn works all the school zones out here. He's out there hammering them. You know, he submits all his tickets to me, and he's got his own goal set. You know, and he's focused on working the school zones, and he does a very good job at that. I mean, a lot of people would know.
Well, thank you so much, and also that I've heard that the crime around New Territory, the other communities around New Territory have gone up, and basically have maintained, kept it low.
We've kept it low, and there's many reasons why. It's got a lot to do with supplemental patrol, but it also has a lot to do with being able to adjust your men to other places in the community where crime is getting more and more involved. We had a problem a couple years ago about some burglars. They were doing these things during the day on certain days of the week. Well, at the time my supervisor was on vacation, I took the initiative upon myself to walk in the office and say, hey, this is what I think needs to be done. Changed up some office hours, some shift hours with some of the guys, and the next time those burglars came in New Territory, they got caught. And that was on July 10th. I'm proud to say that. I'll never forget it. I was out of town that day, at a meeting in Austin, when I get the phone call. What you did, changing up the schedules, actually got these guys caught.
So that shows that minor little adjustments can make a difference in how well coverage. And
you got to be quick. You got to make that decision pretty quick. You can't let it keep on building up and building up and building up. I think at that time we had 3 burglaries on certain days at a certain time, like between 11:30 and 1. 3 days of that, it's not hard to figure that out. And I started calling other agencies in the area, and they were like, oh yeah, we had 27 unsolved burglaries just like that. And I'm like, well, so we did some changing, and I submitted my changes up the ladder, and it got approved, and they let me run with it, and once I did, those guys got caught, and I'm proud to say that.
Thank you, Officer Harrel Clark.
Let me show you your award.
Oh, here, show the camera. Sergeant Harrel Clark, Service Above Self.
That's right.
It's from the Southwest 59 Sunrise Rotary, 2011.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.